this is Stacey, and I am here to show you a layout that I'm going to make. It's a 2-page layout that I'm going to use with these supplies from the Reset Girl collection by Simple Stories. I have done this amazing sketch. I'm going to show you a close-up of my amazing skills right next to the word amazing. That's right. And then I'm going to show you with lots of hand gestures because I just can't not talk with my hands. I'm showing you this ribbon that I actually am going to end up not using. I'm going to show you the remaining pieces up from this collection that I'm going to use. So starting with, these are the adhesive brads. They're not actually brads. They just look like brads on the top. They're just adhesive, so you don't have to use hole poking at all. These are the icon stickers. I am showing you both in the icon stickers and in this next one, the phrase word label stickers, rather, that you have multiples of each sheet of the stickers. Then you have 10 each of 4 different designs on those little like library card sticky notes, the chipboard stickers, and now the cardstock stickers. Okay, lots of different options here. I'm using 4 pieces of cardstock. Here they are. I'm sorry, 3 pieces of cardstock. I'm using what I think is a Bazzill dark brown, and then the kind of pinkish color is called Arroyo. Definitely by Bazzill because it still has the attached little, what's that called, branding strip. I'm going to show you the 4 patterned papers, got that number correct, that I'm going to use from the Reset Girl collection. Here's the fronts and the backs of each of them. I am going to use the ones that I end up putting on top, right? So you've got this grid, the floral, I'm going to use only the portion, that black polka dot one. Now I'm going to show you all the tools I'm using: scrapbook adhesives, foam squares, my handy dandy Fiskars trimmers, glue dots, and my Tombow mono adhesive. It's the dots kind. I'm showing you that the dots are probably going to go on the ribbon. And then I got my Fiskars trimmer. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm starting with this dark brown Bazzill base, and I'm checking back quite often here with my sketch. I am using the Arroyo cardstock for my main background. As you see here, I keep pointing to it, where I'm going to have spaces for photos. And I do quite a bit of talking with my hands. I am pointing to my photo boxes that I'm making, and I'm going to make them 4 inches by 5 inches. And the reason I'm doing this, I think I mentioned this earlier, is that I'm making this layout for a sample for the Islands Creative Escape, which is a crafty, locally owned crafty store in Los Gatos, California. And so that's why I just have these blank spaces here. They're the photo mats. So this is where I'm going to build everything from. This is where I usually start. When I'm doing scrapbooking and with my own real life pictures, I start with my pictures. And then I build a basic design, and then I embellish and add stuff. So that just happens to be my own personal way of doing things. Now I'm going to decide pretty quickly here that because this paper is white, this cardstock, these little photo mounts, wait a minute, before I get started, I'm going to decide that I'm going to use my inking, because a lot of this collection has cream, as I mentioned earlier. There are cream-based portions and white-based portions. Now I'm showing you here that my ink pad, although it says that it's old paper color, it is not. I'm using this Ranger ink applicator with the foam squares. I just got a new one out because I think I've destroyed my old one. Anyway, but this ink pad holds walnut ink, not old paper ink. I just use this paper pad, the ink pad, with my old little jar of walnut ink, distress ink from ages ago when I bought it for a Smoke and Deal. So I'm inking all the edges so that I get a cohesive look. You know, I've watched so many Chamel videos and Glitter Girl. You gotta love it. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm adhering them just barely because I was thinking as I was building this page, maybe I'll add another layer behind each of these photo mats to bring in some more color. And later I decide, no, this is plenty because I'll have so many other patterns going on. And I do a lot of pretty, I don't know, linear, I guess. Would this be considered a pretty linear layout? Right? I've got always lots of straight lines and boxes and stuff. So I'm just trimming this so that this can go onto the left side of my page, and this is really my base. And now I'm going to add these guys on. Again, just a teensy bit of adhesive. And something you'll notice here is that I have common margins. I have a very thin margin in between each photo mat, but I have, I'm pointing to it again here, a wider mat around the whole, the larger box. Okay, so, but I still have common margins. My inside ones are all thin and my outside ones are all thicker. And you'll see I'm just going to leave this space open. I was going to put a patterned paper in there, but I'm just kind of going to wait and see what I want to do with my title. Back to my sketch. Now I'm going to decide what I'm doing on the left, what I'm doing on the right. And you'll notice that I don't need to use the full sheet of paper. For example, this paper here, I am only going to use this little strip to the left. This is a fun design. And so I don't know yet where I'll use it, if I'll use the full length or if I'll use it sideways. But I'm cutting it and I'm going to put it to the side and then decide where I'm going to put it with lots of hand gestures. There we go. What's great is that I don't have to I don't have to use a full 12 by 12 sheet of paper when I'm doing this. I just cut one small piece for the left and one small piece for the right, and it gives the illusion that the paper is being drawn all the way across the page. And so you'll see that's what I'm going to do here. I'm kind of deciding, this is about how tall I want this, and I'm going to be putting part of it on the left and part of it on the right. And in this case, I am using almost the full portion. Anyhow, so now I'm pulling out these sticky notes, part of the collection, because I am going to be building a border along all of this left side. So I'm just throwing these guys down here so I get an idea of how wide, how much space I need here, and so therefore how big I'm going to cut my paper. Now I pull this yellow one out. I pulled out one of each, but I'm not using, even though there is a lot of that yellow in this full collection of the Reset Girl by Simple Stories, I am not using it I'm not using a lot of it in these pattern papers. So anyhow, so you'll see a little piece to the left, a little piece to the right, and now you'll have the illusion, once I glue them down and line them up, that the paper is drawn completely across the page. Next, I'm doing the same thing with this floral paper. Now, I'm going to flip it around a whole bunch of times because I'm trying to decide, is there like an orientation? But not really. The flowers are sort of flipped around, so it doesn't really matter which direction I put it. I'm going to be cutting it to 5.5, and I'm measuring this because I like to have, if I can, a sheet of paper left over that is more than 6 inches in case I need to put like a regular 4x6 picture behind it. I'm going to have a big enough piece of paper. Anyway, that's where I measured. Now I'm eyeballing where I would like the bottom of this to line up. And so this paper is now 5.5 inches wide by, I don't know, what is that, like 9.5, 10 inches long. And I'm cutting it to 2 1/4 on the left, and so that would make, what, 3 1/4 on the right. And I flipped it over because I liked the full set of that, like, little trifecta of flowers. And I'm deciding where to put the polka dot paper. What I'm pointing out here is that this collection has both white background and cream-based backgrounds. And so, you know, if the designers of this collection don't care so much to mix it up, then I don't care either. Although it's really obvious when I stick this paper right on top of my white photo mats. So I'm going to cut this one out. I'm going to use it the lengthwise. And I'm trying to make sure, I'm pointing out there that there's kind of like a yellowish portion that I'm going to tuck behind on the right side. And I also just wanted to make sure that the polka dots, you know, there wasn't just like a total clean edge on the left or right. Here I am measuring for you so you know how big these spaces are. The Arroyo cardstock in the center is 11 inches tall by like 10 and almost a quarter wide. So here I am adhering everything down. I'm inking everything and I'm adhering it down for you. You're welcome that it's fast forwarded because, you know, I'm a talker, as you can tell. So I generally, see how I took the right side and I flipped it over to the left so that you could see what was going on. Now I've got everything adhered down and inked up, and we're ready to start doing the embellishment part. Just fixing that little corner there. And now I'm showing you the adhesive I used for this background. And the reason I used it is just because it's easier for me. And I think that it's really strong when you're having all these layers of paper. Now I'm pulling out my ribbon, and the thing is that this light pink is just a little too light pink. There's totally light pink in this collection. However, in the papers that I pulled for this layout, I used more of that, I don't know what that's called, like it's not really mango-ish. The cardstock is called Arroyo, but it's more rosy. Anyway, so I just put that ribbon to the side, you know, best laid plans and all of that. And now I'm going to just adhere down these sticky tabs. They're meant to be used in planners, but, you know, I can do what I want, right? I like to use it in here too. And I just haphazardly plopped them down. And next I'm going to be spending an inordinate amount of time choosing the labels. So I'm going to pause you for just a sec and do some fast forwarding so that you're not super annoyed by me. All right, friends, I am fast forwarding this section because this took me like 15 minutes of putting together this little border. I'm going through the chipboard stickers, and I'm just looking for linear elements, so like horizontal type words and stuff. Oh, my son is being loud in the background and playing basketball by himself. Fake basketball with his laundry. So that's kind of what I've got going on. And so I pulled out first the chipboard stickers, and now I'm looking through the cardstock sticker sheet. And I'm grabbing a couple of these big ones. I'm popping them up with the scrapbook adhesive foam squares. And I'm just go ahead and putting these ones down already. One thing about these foam squares that was accidental, serendipitous perhaps, is that they are like a low profile. They're half the thickness. And I think I'm going to show that to you in a minute. Anyway, I'm just going through now the, let's see, what are these called? They're called the word label stickers. And, you know, I said earlier that they have 4 designs and 2 sheets of each design. And so the first design comes, I think that there's like yellow, or this one has pink splatters on it. And then the next 2 have that mint green splatters. And then the last one has pink splatters on it. And then the 4th design is more like a label rectangle with different colors on the border. Anyway, so I'm just going through each sheet and pulling out some encouraging statements, such as, let's see, some of these things say, yes, shine bright, it's a great day. Or some other things, life is good, there's no one just like you. And there's a lot of other, like, put your thinking cap on, like, action-based words. And I don't know, I just put encouraging stuff on here because my title is going to be basically, you are amazing, I think. Amazing or awesome, something like that. Anyhow, so I'm going through this whole thing, and then I'm going to stop, and I will take it away once I get all these down, and I'm going to sew. So here I am back from sewing these labels, this great border down. You'll see that I just pulled out the Tombow Mono Liquid Adhesive because when I was sewing, I looked over and saw my jar of sequins and threw in several little gold star sequins. But I sewed them a few times, and it was like, they were so tiny they weren't really working, so I had to glue some of them on. Anywho, now I am looking through these icon stickers, and I've pulled a few of them aside, and I am going to spend an inordinate amount of time right now figuring out how to put my title down. I want to use this title. Isn't it great? It's got the gold foiling around the edges. You will see me do lots of that finger tapping that I just did. So I'm like, The reason I'm trimming this down yet again is because I don't like how the word amazing is in brown background, but I didn't want it to touch the brown cardstock background because it didn't stand out very well that way. So I'm pulling out these chipboard florals, which I'm going to end up not using. And I've got this great little icon, this girl icon. See, I'm showing you how these are thin height. I grabbed that one round sticker from the icon stickers and popped it up with one of those Scrapbook Adhesives foam squares. Now I'm just going to randomly, see all the finger tapping I'm doing? I'm moving around this word amazing a bunch. You're welcome for fast forwarding it. I'm going to pop it up with these low profile foam squares, and I just cut out a bit of this moment where I'm spelling my section that's basically you are amazing. And then I just turned the camera off for a minute because I was doing so much finger tapping that I was just like driving myself crazy. I needed to clear my head. And with the pressure of having it videoed, it was too much. So I decided instead to use 2 more of these adhesive lists. They're kind of like Post-it notes, but the adhesive's not that strong. And so I'm going to put these over here because I have all that huge border thing going on the left with all the words and all the horizontal phrases. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. So I just put 2 of them down. I'm going to just clip off this XX paper. And now I'm going to do a similar thing just on a smaller scale that I did on the left, which is pull some phrases. I'm going to pop these up with some dots so we get a little more excitement, a little more interest, right? It always is fun. And now I have some color as well from the the cardstock stickers, and then I'm going back through to these phrase, is that what they're called? Word label stickers. Yep, and I'm going to pop this one up as well, and I'm also going to ink this one so that because it's cream based, and then you have that cream, a little Post-it note tag. See, I pointed to it, yeah. I'm talking really the entire time that I'm filming this, but then I film it for so long that I'm like, there's no way you want to listen to me babble during that whole time. So I'm putting some more of these labels down, and here's what they say. Let me tell you. I'm just going to go ahead and read it because I have my completed project. Best ever. Love is a good place to start. You were made to shine, girl. You are amazing. You have what it takes. So thankful. And voila, and now we're back. I went off camera, and I've sewn on these labels, added the sequin stars, and I'm actually going to stick down my amazing title. And finally, but what I'm trying to do here, this is the whole design thing that I'm looking for, is I want to make sure I've got kind of a border around all the edges. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. All right. And now remember I told you I'm deciding on those florals, but now, because the left-hand side I just had icons, and it's very much more linear and, I don't know, floral. Even though I have that floral paper, that's about as much as I can do. So I stuck down this icon sticker with the yellow dress gal, and then I've got the chipboard sticker with this gal, and they're so reminiscent for me of when my mom used to sew some stuff. She would sew clothing, and we would go with her to the fabric store. Beverly's Fabrics is what it was called in my town. And, you know, they'd have like the Vogue, or it probably wasn't Vogue if my mom was doing it, but it was the sketches on the front of the patterns that you would buy at the store. And we'd flip through the books, like big old giant catalogs. Anyway, very reminiscent. So I'm telling you that because here I am now taking forever sticking each one of these down individually. I do have this sped up a little bit, but it still seems to be, this is actually twice the speed. So it took me a little while, you know. I'm going to change my mind because I'm going to get down here and I'm going to go, ugh. I didn't like where that Y was going to end up on this sticker, so I'm taking it up carefully. Putting this down first. I wanted those words to kind of go across the yellow dress. I thought that was a better point, interaction point, but because it ended a funky spot on her feet, I moved that sticker over. I'm adding one of the icon stickers in that little arrow, and I'm just kind of gluing everything down. I'm going to go back to the icon stickers now and decide I need something else here. I've got a few icons on the left, the little ladies in their dresses, and now I want to make sure I pull in some of those same shapes and a pop of color. See how it's minty, so I don't want it up top there. And now I've got sort of like a visual triangle on my bottom right. I've got the circle girl, I've got this label, and then I've got the title, Amazing. Okay, now I'm using these adhesive brads. These are bomb, by the way. They are low profile, they are super sticky, they are very cute, and look how easy. You don't have to poke any holes, you just stick them right on there. Anyway, I liked this one too because this girl's like, yes! So that's where I put it up there by the you go girl and yes. Anyway, so here's the end of my page. I'm just showing you the different things, and I'm going to show you a couple of still shots now. So here are those still shots. This is the left-hand side with all those little details. Here is the bottom, kind of in the middle on the right. Some of those little, look at those brads, aren't they cute? And here's my final project. Thanks again for watching. Please comment if you have any questions or if you have some constructive criticism for my film video. I would like it. Thank you.